Just want to welcome each and every one of you to this special ceremony, the 2016 Nursing Stethoscope Ceremony. And I also want to welcome those who are watching, your family and friends via live stream video. Ceremonies such as weddings, funerals, and birthdays mark important points in our lives. Any of you who have taken an anthropology class have probably learned about the rites of passage. Cultural groups perform rituals that represent transitions from one role to another within their culture. And these rituals communicate and renew basic values of their culture. Nursing is a culture with history, values, and beliefs that unite us. Nurses have historically held ceremonies to mark important points in our professional development. So today's ritual formalizes an educational milestone for each of you. The Payne Bolton School of Nursing class of 2020 has met the requirements to participate in patient care in the hospital. The faculty recognize you for completing the rigorous preparation required for you to reach this point. Metaphorically, each of you is kind of standing in a doorway, if you use the rites of passage sort of message. And this doorway is you're kind of stepping through where you're leaving behind kind of your old self, and you're kind of looking forward to what's ahead of you. And they call that the liminal space. So as you progress into this liminal space, you experience some separation, transition, and finally incorporation. And you probably have each felt those feelings coming, leaving your family and coming here, and now feeling some incorporation into the nursing profession. You know the transition requires studying, listening, learning, but probably most of all, caring. So I think this moment of transition is worthy of our collective attention. So we assemble together for this ceremony or rite of passage. The faculty that support your journey to become a nurse celebrate with you today. In the weeks ahead, you will finally use your stethoscopes with real patients. When you use and wear your stethoscope, others recognize your special skills, knowledge, and nursing values. In addition to receiving your stethoscope, you will also receive a pin from the Arnold P. Gold Foundation. And the pin contains an inscription about caring that is meant to serve as a visual reminder to you that in order to deliver the best care to your patients, compassion and empathy must be the hallmark of your clinical practice. So now I ask that you just take a moment, because in our busy, rushing around world, sometimes we need some guidance to just stop and relax. You might want to close your eyes, or you might want to focus on one of the symbols here, which is the Nightingale lamp, and there's also a historic plate from the early days of the Payne Bolton School of Nursing. But focus your attention and just take in the beauty of this moment in this gorgeous afternoon, and think about what it's taken for you to get to this point in your life. And I think that we can also look forward with anticipation for the knowledge, skills, and professional growth just beyond this doorway. And I just ask that you enjoy the journey that's ahead of you. Thank you. Rainer Matsko, who's the president of the Undergraduate Student Nurses Association, is going to share some words about her experience. Thank you, Rainer.
Hello, my name is Rainer Matsko, and I am the current executive president of the Undergraduate Student Nurses Association. Congratulations to all of you for getting through the first 3 weeks of your nursing school career. Of course, the start of freshman year can be intimidating, but it's also full of exciting new beginnings. I still remember on my first day of clinical, our whole group, all 8 of us, entered a patient's room for the first time and tried to talk to her. As someone who historically loves to talk, I thought this would be a piece of cake, but I was terrified. As a first-year student, all these new experiences scared me, but since then, I have learned that that's okay. Now, as a third-year student, I can confidently say that FPB will provide you with the knowledge, skills, and confidence needed to excel as a nursing student and one day as a nurse. Sitting where you are now, 2 years ago, I was focused on what color stethoscope I was going to receive. But now I know how much more important the tool itself is. You will use it in every clinical experience, and it will assist you in providing care to all sorts of patients from all walks of life. Accepting your stethoscope today comes with a lot of responsibility. You are the future of healthcare, and the passion and empathy that you bring to patients has a tremendous impact. Patients value everything you do, even if it's as simple as taking the time to talk to them. I continue to be amazed by all the wonderful things I've experienced here at FPB, from working alongside inspirational nurses and doctors at the second highest ranked hospital in the country, to brightening someone's day by giving them a relaxing bed bath and sitting with them. We are so lucky to be some of the only undergraduate students who have the privilege to immediately apply what we're learning in the classroom to our work with real patients. I encourage you all, as the class of 2020, to support each other through the numerous challenges you will face and take advantage of all the opportunities to learn and grow, because these years really fly by. Congratulations on all you've achieved so far to get this point, and remember to have fun while you're here. Now, please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Mary Terhart, the Associate Dean of Academic Affairs of the Nursing School.
I'm really happy to be with you today, but mostly I'm happy that you're here with us today. Am I doing okay for volume? Okay. So let's see. As I begin, I want to bring you greetings from Mary Kerr, who is our dean. You all met her like a month ago at Prepare to Care, and she's away at a conference because part of her job is to go get money for the school, so we're all very happy that she's away at the conference, but she's a little bummed that she's not here with you because you're the reason that we're all here. So she asks me to bring her greetings and her best wishes to you all. She really wishes she was going bowling with you. It's a lot of fun if you've not been there, so it's great. All right. So, believe it or not, it's been 1 month since you got together for Prepare to Care. So many of you, a month ago, your parents dropped you off. You met your roommates. You moved into a new place, so that's been a month. I think all of you, a month ago, you met each other and did Prepare to Care. So today, what we're going to do is gather as a community because, as Irene said, we want to take a moment to reflect on what's been going on in your world and what is about to happen in your world to come. So we mark this really important passage, which is your first experience with patients. Have you been to the bedside? Who went to the bedside? Next week, right? Okay. So this is a big deal. And you just heard that it can make you a little anxious. So you're going to move to the bedside to be with patients who need your intelligence, your judgment, your help, assistance, advocacy, critical thinking, problem solving. That's what they need from you. They need your compassion, they need your care, and they need the very best that you can bring to every day that you are with a patient. It's the foundation for all that you do will be the way that you bring yourself to the bedside. You know, does anybody meditate or do yoga? It's about being present, and that's what you're going to learn to do with your patients. So every day you'll be asked to bring your very best. It's a decision that you're going to make. It's a choice you're going to make to bring your very best, and we want to help you to do that. So being a nurse, being with patients is amazing. It's far more than a job. It's an honor, and it's a privilege. And every faculty member in the room would tell you it's rewarding beyond anything that you sitting there today can imagine. It rocks. You've chosen a great profession, and you're about to step into it. We say this because your classroom is and your workplace afford you an invitation that very few people have. You're going to be invited into the lives of patients, into the lives of their families, and into the lives of your communities. You don't simply go into hospitals or clinics or schools. You enter into what we call therapeutic relationships, which will transform the lives of the people that you engage with, truly, and they will transform yours. So you'll be present in important ways and popping peas like I just did. When people are at their very happiest, like the birth of a child, you can imagine that. But you'll also be there when they're at their most vulnerable, like in situations that you can foresee and in many that you cannot foresee. So foreseeable might be to attend someone who is dying or attend someone who is losing a family member. Unforeseeable is to be in the emergency room when Zika virus shows up or when anthrax patients show up. You can't see it coming, and so you're going to have to just bring your very best, and you won't always know what's coming in the door. So things will be sometimes conceivable and sometimes inconceivable. You will be present with patients who are incapacitated from grief or illness, just as you'll be with people struggling to meet a challenge. Think about the folks who survived the Boston Marathon, who had to learn to walk on artificial limbs, or soldiers who need to learn to live after they encounter PTSD. So, as nurses, the space in which you work is not an office. You'll use a computer, but that's not everything. You'll be in a lab. You'll be at a desk, but that's not where you're really going to do your work. You're going to do your work with people in their physical space. You'll be attending to their bodies and their souls, and you're going to be close and intimate, and it's quite a privilege and quite a responsibility. The facts with which we work aren't just data. You know, it's not like something you read in a book alone. These are the facts of people's lives and the facts of their families' lives. And you're about to move into the world of stories. Nurses have stories. Have you heard them? We have really great stories. We have stories that nobody else can tell. And sometimes you can't tell your stories. But these stories, at the end of your day, it won't be about the widgets you made or the things you checked off your list. It'll be about these amazing things that you encountered with people. And so that's a very cool thing. That's the world you're entering today. Our memories will be about the most profound moments in people's lives. They are private, they are personal, funny, remarkable, heartbreaking, inspiring, joyful, and that's the world that you enter. Okay, we're moving. So why would we show this? Because you're making a leap of faith. Your patients place great trust in you, and you're placing great trust in us to help you to make this big step. So today, the community at Francis Payne Bolton welcomes you to nursing. We present you with stethoscopes, which you see on all the primetime television shows, right? As, you know, this is a healthcare provider, but now you are going to wear them and you're going to be the healthcare providers. They are outward signs of what you've chosen to become. Think of your stethoscope as just an extension of yourself. So let your stethoscopes remind you to listen, not superficially, but really deeply. That's what a stethoscope enables you to do. Listen deeply. Let these tools bring you close to the people in your care. Imagine when you put the stethoscope on the patient's chest, listen to breath sounds, listen to heart sounds, you are physically close. You'll feel their breath. You are very close. So they will help you establish a physical connection to people that otherwise you would have no physical connection with. But we also want you to understand that the data that you gather from using these stethoscopes will also form a bridge to the other disciplines, because the data that you gather are critical to decisions made by everyone in the healthcare team. It's not just the blood pressure. It's data that helps everyone make a decision about meds, about diagnostics, about outcomes. So think of your stethoscope. Any Harry Potter fans here? Oh, are we too ashamed to admit it? I love Harry Potter. Okay, so it's a port key, right? Think of it as a port key, or it's an access key to another world, and this is the world at the bedside. They are part of the leap of faith that you take, and they're part of establishing you in this profession and establishing this profession's trust in you. So I want you to think carefully about this. It'll sound a little bit like a lecture, but it's really important. Has anybody read the Gallup poll about the health professions, about the professions? So you know who Gallup is, right? They do polls all the time, right? And if they're happy if they get 30% of the world to tell them what they think. But Gallup gets this amazing poll every year, and they ask the public, John Q. public, who do you trust among all the professions, lawyers, physicians, accountants, among all the professions for 14 years. Nurses have been the most trusted profession among all. So for those who are nurses in the room, we take this very seriously. For those who are staff in the room, they are here to be present to help you become amazing nurses. And for you in this room, taking these stethoscopes, making this step, you accept responsibility for carefully tending that public trust. It's huge. It's a delight, and it's a responsibility. Okay, so as a student at FPB, you join our profession, and you you accept a shared responsibility to promote and sustain the long-standing, hard-earned trust of the American public. So the American Nurses Association is the association that represents all nurses. It has a code of ethics. Have you read the code of ethics yet in class? Some say yes, some say no, so you're going to have to indulge me because I'm going to do it, okay? So I'm a neonatal nurse. Is anybody going to be a neonatal nurse? Okay, so neonatal nurses look at little babies who can't push call buttons and can't say, my nose itches or I'm in a lot of pain. And so a neonatal nurse is really good at reading cues. So if you guys look bored, I'm going to have to tap dance up here to try to keep you with me. So here we go. So the American Nurses Association has a code of ethics to help us be ethical clinicians, help us understand the responsibilities we share, and help us maintain that trust. So nurses practice with compassion, respect for the inherent dignity, worth, and unique attributes of every person. Nurses' primary commitment is to the patient, not the facility, not the budget. The budget and the facility are important, but your primary responsibility is to the patient. The nurse promotes, advocates for, and protects the rights to health and safety. The nurse has authority, accountability, and responsibility for nursing practice, makes decisions, takes actions consistent with the obligation to promote the health and provide optimal care. The nurse owes the same duties to herself as she owes to others. So, what we repeatedly do is what contributes to excellence. So it's not a thing, excellence, but it's a habit. And so right now, beginning your program, you need to focus always on the practice every day, helping you to approach excellence. The nurse, through individual and collective efforts, establishes, maintains, and improves an ethical environment. He or she, in all roles and settings, advances the profession through research and scholarly inquiry. He or she collaborates with other health professionals and the public to protect human rights, promote health, and reduce health disparities. Nurses, collectively and through professional organizations, need to articulate values, maintain integrity of the profession, and integrate the principles of social justice. So after today, you must keep in mind that as a nurse or a nursing student, you are simultaneously invited to and intruding yourself into the physical space and the lives of others. So this is an impressive responsibility not to be underestimated. So today, we celebrate your journey. I'm not going to stay heavy, but those things we do need to say, okay? So we celebrate your journey becoming an FPB nurse. Dr. Kajowski explained to you that nurses have rituals. Nurses also have stories. I would like to tell you that, a story from a faculty member of mine. So when I was entering graduate school, I had a dean who was pretty amazing. I've got at least one asleep here. I better be more dazzling. So I had a dean who was amazing. Her name was Rosemary Donnelly. She was the first White House Fellow. She was like 35 years old, and she was the first woman to be a White House Fellow. She went on to be the first president of the Catholic University, which is a big deal because that's an old boy network, if anybody knows about that. And she was an amazing and compassionate person who had good suggestions. So on a day very much like this one, she cautioned me as part of a group of graduate students to be sure to seek and find balance. How good are you guys at keeping balance in your life? Mets? Okay. So coming into school, there's going to be more challenges to that, okay? She told us what we already knew, that we would need to study hard. You know you need to study hard, right? You knew that when you came. And she said we would need to stay focused on our goals. So that's cool. We all know that. But then she shared some advice that I thought, how the heck am I going to do that? She told us that every week, not like, once a semester, but every week you needed to get out into nature. You needed to go outside and breathe the air. You needed to take a walk. Do you guys exercise? Do you have your sports? Okay, you can't give those up when you come to school. She said you've got to keep doing your sports. If you run, you should run. If you dance, you should dance. And you should continue to do the things that give you satisfaction. So I listened to her story, and she told us, go to the art museum, go listen to music. So I went to the National Gallery. Has anybody ever been to the National Gallery in Washington, D.C.? Okay. I went to the National Gallery of Art, and there was a Da Vinci exhibit. And so some of you may know Da Vinci. He's the guy that painted the Sistine Chapel. He made the sculpture of David that used to scandalize you when you were a child because it had no clothes on, right? So he did this amazing work. And much of his work is on the chapel, on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. Now, please don't be offended. I don't mean to tell you a story about Catholicism. That isn't my intent. I want to tell you a story about a master. All right? So he did all this work on the Sistine Chapel, laying on his back, dripping paint into his eyes, which caused him to go blind later on in life. But he did this work while I'm walking through this exhibit, yeah? And in one corner, behind this plexiglass frame, there is this scrap of paper. It's a scrap. It's in glass. It's about this big. Has anybody ever painted? Is anybody here an artist? Do you know what gesso is? Yeah, okay. So it's like medieval whiteout, right? It's like you would prime the canvas, and then you would paint over it. So there was this one piece of paper in this museum, and on it was this sketch on the bottom that had, this isn't exactly it, but this is close, that had what do you call them? The columns that were supporting the Sistine Chapel. This man was calculating the weight-bearing load to be held in the ceiling on these columns. He was calculating how many columns would be necessary, how wide they needed to be, all these calculations in the little corner in pencil, right? And then up in the top was the hand of God reaching down to Adam in the painting that was the Garden of Eden. There were skeletal structures, all these things on one piece of parchment. And the story that went with it was that when Da Vinci was doing his work, there wasn't enough parchment. And so what they do is they would paint, and then when they didn't like it, they would gesso white out over it, and then they would paint more on it. And over time, the gesso would wear off, and sometimes you would see multiple masterpieces on the same piece of paper. Is that not cool? I was blown away. I was like, that is the coolest thing ever. Why was it cool to me? Because I never stopped to think about Da Vinci making drafts. Do you know, I never stopped to think that it would take many iterations of something to get to that ceiling in the Sistine Chapel, right? But it does take drafts. It took one stab at it, gesso over it, make another stab at it, gesso over it, make another stab at it. That blew me away. And I liked it because, do you all think that you'll be perfect the first time you try to do an IM injection? It's a little scary. Or the first time you try to place a Foley, or the first time you try to have a conversation with a patient about something they don't really want to hear. So we don't become masters with our first iteration of anything. And so you've chosen to come to FPB, and we choose to be your partner as you become masterful at being a nurse. So I want you to remember that piece of paper, because you may take a couple stabs at it, but you need to let yourself get help from your classmates, let yourself get help from your faculty, and press yourself really hard to be the very best you can be, right? So did anybody read the Common Read this summer, the Common Reading, the book, All the Light We Cannot See? Was this not an interesting book? Fascinating. Who went to, this is not a test, who went to Convocation? Did anybody go to Convocation? So what'd you think of that man when he spoke? Awesome. Was he not awesome? He was amazing. And when he looked at you, what did you see in his face? I thought he was having a great time. I looked at him and he was just like smiling, taking it all in, right? He did not write that book in one draft. That was years of writing and rewriting. And he sat there and took that day in and he smiled. And I want you to sit there and take this day in and every day forward in the masterpiece that's going to be your career as a nurse. I want you to smile at that and take it in, because drinking it in is really great. And so that's why we're here today. So a couple things for you to remember. Work hard, of course, you knew that. Study hard, of course, you knew that. We really do want you to take time and drink in the life around you. You came here, you didn't come to a community college. You came to Case Western Reserve University to be part of a large academic community. So you want to find ways to go bowling or go have Mitchell's ice cream, right? Do the things that, that you love. Do the things that are Cleveland. They have discount seats to Severance Hall, so you can go hear the symphony. It's amazing. You can go to the farmer's market if you haven't found it yet. By the way, this is a double dipper because we want you to eat well because you're going to be tired and we don't want you to get sick, right? So on this journey that you've chosen to take with us, trust us. Let us help you. Tell us when you need help. Help each other out and drink it all in. That's really what I wanted to say to you. How's that? Because you are our masterpieces, and we want to be with you the whole way. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Terhar, for those thoughtful words. My name is Jessie Hansky. I'm the Assistant Director of the BSN program, and I'm pleased today to present you with your stethoscope and pin from the Gold Foundation. And I'll be presenting them with your advisors, Kathy Money and Laureen Gaikowski. You will notice that there are many different colors of stethoscopes. Please refrain from trading with your classmates until the reception after the ceremony. Please remain seated until the ushers guide you to the stage. Elizabeth Adams. Julia Barnes. Lauren Beer. Hannah Bourne. Pauline Brenner. Leanna Brew. Alexis Bruno. Caitlin Cantu. Mino Cho. Michaela Chulian. James Coker. Shannon Cordero. Hillary Dellin. Sarah DeGenero. Angela Dolan. Cindy Dong. Chanel Dorr. Jillian Ames. Tessa Harstrick. Jillian Henkelman. Emma Wang. Cassidy Hudapole. Caroline Jewett. Megan Jung. Mahogany Lawson. Dorothy Liu. Dana Lowry. Bridget Martinez. Malena Mason. Chester Wen. Michelle O. Lauren Paul. Elizabeth Flips. Olivia Piccione. Sienna Piccione. Hannah Price. Rachel Ryder. Aura Rossi. Sabrina Santander. Laura Taylor. Arissa T. Laura Teterick. Kayla Torbert. Allison Von Zuck. Denasia Wagner. Sydney Washing. Jessica Watson. Lucille Zaharko. Vivian Bong. Michelle Bay. Hunter Green. Gabrielle Hall. Emily Hawk. Veronica Pellegrino. Zemariah Locke. Jane Yu. So now I would like to welcome Dr. Amy Beda, the director of the BSN program, and she will lead us all in the Nightingale Pledge.
We will now recite the Nightingale Pledge together. Please read each section of the pledges as it appears on the screen, if I can do this right. All student nurses and nurses, please stand and join me as we read the pledge. I solemnly promise before all present to live my life honorably and morally, and to practice my nursing profession faithfully. I will never intentionally harm anyone in my care and will work hard to practice nursing safely. I will never take or knowingly administer any harmful drug or therapy. I will do all in my power to maintain and elevate the standard of my profession. By active engagement, a commitment to caring, continuing education, and mentorship of new nurses and nursing students. I will keep all health and personal information of patients and families confidential as I practice my calling. And I will work collaboratively and respectfully with all healthcare providers and devote myself to the welfare of those in my care. I get to say, no. Well, good luck and best wishes for a successful first year. And on behalf of all the faculty and the staff, welcome to the nursing profession. Please join us for a reception and bowling at the corner alley. So guys, go down, get some food, bowl a few frames, watch us. All the faculty look really bad. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Hey guys, 1 second, just before you guys head to Corner Alley. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Shannon Orlowski. I'm the VP of Student Development in USNA. I just wanted to give out a quick reminder. Hopefully you guys all got my email and got a mentor. If you did not get a mentor assigned to you for some reason or did not get an email from me, please find me after this. I'll be going over to Corner Alley with you guys, or contact me, email me. And also in the email I sent, there's a form letting me know, like, it's an RSVP to the meet and greet on September 30th in the first floor lounge, where you can meet with your mentor for the first time at 12:40. Please RSVP to that so I know how much food to get. Thank you.
Thanks, Shannon. We're really excited about giving you all a mentor. That's really important, that the school feels like that's a good support for you and fun, too. So just to facilitate us going to the corner alley, we have some USNA students that have signs with the color coordinating with, not every color, but just in general, your new color of your stethoscope. So kind of look for them out there, and that'll be kind of your group to just walk up the street and get to corner alley. So thank you all for coming. Congratulations.